Imagine a world where every car on the road drives itself. No more honking in traffic, no more tailgating, no more road rage. You step into your car, tell it where to go, and sit back as it navigates the streets flawlessly. Sounds like science fiction, right? But what if I told you this future is closer than you think? What if AI cars replaced all human drivers tomorrow? Let's start with the obvious question. Why would anyone want AI cars to replace human drivers in the first place? The first and most obvious reason is safety. Every year, human error causes over 90% of car accidents in the United States. Distracted driving, drunk driving, fatigue, these are things that AI doesn't experience. A computer doesn't check Instagram while steering, doesn't fall asleep at the wheel, and doesn't make split-second mistakes out of anger or stress. Theoretically, fully automated AI cars could reduce accidents drastically, saving tens of thousands of lives each year. But it's not just about safety. Efficiency and traffic flow would change dramatically. Imagine every car communicating with each other in real time. AI cars could adjust speeds perfectly, maintain ideal distances, and eliminate traffic jams caused by sudden braking or inefficient lane changes. Your commute, which might now take an hour, could be cut to 30 minutes, or even less, because AI algorithms can optimize traffic better than any human brain ever could. And there's the environment. AI cars could be programmed to drive in ways that conserve fuel, reduce emissions, and make the most out of electric vehicle technology. Smooth acceleration, smart route planning, and synchronized traffic flow could transform city pollution levels, and we might finally start to see cleaner air in major cities. But here's the tricky part. While the benefits sound incredible, there are huge challenges that no one can ignore. Imagine millions of people suddenly losing the need to drive. What happens to truck drivers, taxi drivers, and even delivery drivers? Millions of jobs could disappear, and that's not even considering the ethical dilemmas AI cars face. If an unavoidable crash occurs, how does the AI decide whose safety takes priority? Should it protect the driver at all costs, or the pedestrian crossing the street? These are questions that humans struggle to answer, and now the responsibility would fall to algorithms. And here's a thought that might surprise you. Even if every car could drive itself perfectly, humans might still resist. Control, trust, and personal freedom are deeply connected to driving. For some, giving up the wheel entirely would feel like surrendering independence. For others, the idea of letting a machine decide life and death situations could be terrifying. So even if the technology is ready, social acceptance is another huge hurdle. Now imagine this scenario extending beyond just individual cars. Self-driving vehicles could completely reshape cities. Parking lots might shrink because AI cars could drop passengers off and park themselves miles away. Roads could be narrower, more green spaces could appear, and urban planning could shift in ways we can barely imagine. Before we explore what this AI-driven future really looks like, I want to ask you, would you trust a car to drive you anywhere, anytime, without touching the wheel? Think about it, because the reality might be closer than you think. Now that we've imagined a world where AI cars take over the roads, let's zoom in on what life might actually feel like day to day. Picture this. You wake up in the morning, grab your coffee, and your car is already waiting outside. You tell it to take you to work, and instead of worrying about traffic, speed limits, or finding a parking spot, you relax, catch up on emails, or even nap. Your commute is no longer stressful, it becomes productive, or maybe even enjoyable. But it's not just about comfort. AI cars could completely change how we design our cities. With human drivers gone, parking lots would shrink dramatically. That empty space could turn into parks, playgrounds, or new housing developments. Streets could be narrower and safer because AI cars drive perfectly within lanes and at consistent speeds. Traffic lights might become optional in some areas, replaced by communication between vehicles. The urban landscape we know today could look unrecognizable in just a few decades. Then there's the economy. Certain jobs would disappear, taxi drivers, truck drivers, delivery drivers, but new opportunities would rise. AI engineers, maintenance specialists, traffic data analysts, and even AI ethics consultants would be in high demand. The challenge? Society would need to adapt quickly to retrain millions of workers for entirely new careers. Governments, companies, and communities would face a massive responsibility to manage this transition fairly. Safety might improve in ways we can't even imagine yet. With AI cars communicating with each other, emergency vehicles could move through traffic effortlessly. Ambulances, fire trucks, and police cars would get to their destinations faster, potentially saving lives. Roads could become almost accident-free zones. But, on the flip side, what happens when a hacker gains control of these systems? The more connected cars are, the bigger the security risks. A single breach could cause chaos on a massive scale, and that's a concern developers are racing to solve right now. Then comes the human factor. Even if AI is safer, many people might not trust it immediately. Some might refuse to ride in a self-driving car, while others could become too reliant on it. Imagine teens or elderly drivers who never learn to drive or always depend on AI vehicles. They could lose basic driving skills completely, and when humans and AI cars share roads temporarily, there could still be conflicts. Humans take unpredictable actions, but AI calculates probabilities. That gap could be tricky to navigate. Lastly, think about culture and lifestyle. AI cars could redefine road trips, commuting, and even car ownership. Do people still buy cars if they can summon one instantly? Ride-sharing fleets could dominate, while personal vehicles become rare luxury items. The way we travel, socialize, and even experience freedom might shift in ways that are hard to predict. But all because machines are driving. So what would your life look like if every vehicle around you operated perfectly on its own? Could you fully trust AI to make split-second decisions when human lives are on the line? And more importantly, are we ready as a society to hand over the wheel completely? Now that we've explored the convenience and citywide changes AI cars could bring, it is time to confront the darker side, the ethical dilemmas and potential disasters that come with handing full control of our roads to machines. Because even the smartest AI can't escape tough moral decisions. Imagine this. An AI car is driving down a busy street when a sudden accident happens. A child runs into the road, and at the same time, swerving would hit a group of pedestrians. What should the AI do? Whom should it prioritize? Should it protect its passenger at all costs, or minimize overall harm? These questions might sound like science fiction, but they're very real challenges for AI engineers. And unlike humans, AI doesn't feel guilt or fear, but the consequences of its decisions could be catastrophic. Then there's the question of accountability. If an AI car causes an accident, who is responsible? The manufacturer, the software developer, the passenger who owned the car? Our current legal systems are not equipped to handle these situations fully, which could lead to a lot of confusion and lawsuits. Imagine a world where accidents still happen, but no one knows who is legally accountable. That uncertainty could slow down AI adoption dramatically. Security is another major concern. AI cars rely heavily on software and constant connectivity. Hackers could potentially take control of vehicles remotely, causing massive accidents or gridlock. Even small software glitches could lead to serious crashes. Unlike human drivers, who make mistakes individually, a system-wide error in AI cars could affect thousands of vehicles simultaneously. The stakes are incredibly high, and let's not forget about inequality. AI cars might be expensive at first, leaving only wealthy individuals with access to the safest, most advanced vehicles. Meanwhile, lower-income communities could be left with outdated, less safe systems, or forced to rely on shared fleets. This could create a new form of transportation inequality, where some people experience convenience and safety, while others are at greater risk. There's also a psychological side to consider. Humans are creatures of habit, and driving is deeply personal. Handing over total control to a machine could create stress, anxiety, or even dependence. People might stop learning driving skills altogether. Worse, some could become overconfident in AI, expecting it to handle every situation flawlessly and put themselves or others in danger when the system fails. And let's be honest, not every human will accept AI cars easily. Some might resist completely, preferring the freedom of manual driving. Others could hack, manipulate, or sabotage systems for thrill or protest. Society would have to adapt laws, education, and culture to address these human challenges alongside technological ones. But here's the twist. Despite all these risks, the potential for a safer, more efficient world is enormous. AI cars could drastically reduce accidents, cut emissions, save time, and reshape cities. But only if we carefully navigate the ethical, legal, and social minefields along the way. It's a delicate balance between progress and responsibility. In the next and final part, we'll explore what a fully AI-driven world could actually look like in practice, from everyday life to long-term consequences, and whether this is a future we should embrace or approach with caution. So, what would a world look like if AI cars completely replaced human drivers? Let's take a step back and imagine a full day in this new reality. You wake up, summon an AI car, and it arrives in seconds. No traffic lights slowing you down, no aggressive drivers cutting you off. Your commute is smooth, predictable, and stress-free. Across the city, millions of other cars move in perfect harmony, their AI systems communicating with each other like a well-rehearsed orchestra. Parking becomes almost irrelevant. Cars drop passengers off and park themselves in automated garages miles away. Cities reclaim space once devoted to endless rows of parking lots. Green areas, bike lanes, and pedestrian-friendly zones expand. Your morning walk to the office might pass through lush, revitalized streets instead of asphalt jungles. The economy has shifted dramatically. Truck drivers, delivery drivers, and taxi drivers may have lost traditional jobs, but new industries have emerged. AI engineers, fleet managers, cybersecurity experts, and data analysts are in high demand. Companies that adapt quickly thrive, while those slow to embrace automation struggle. Life is different, but it's not necessarily worse, just transformed. Safety has improved immensely. Traffic accidents caused by human error have plummeted. Emergency response times have shortened because AI vehicles make way efficiently. Roads are no longer zones of chaos, but systems of precision. Yet, even with these advancements, small accidents and rare malfunctions still happen. We're learning to trust technology, but vigilance never disappears completely. Socially and culturally, people are adjusting. Driving is no longer a rite of passage, and personal car ownership may become a luxury instead of a necessity. Road trips evolve into experiences where you can relax fully, work, or even sleep as the vehicle navigates autonomously. Cities feel quieter, cleaner, and more organized, but some individuals still feel uneasy about surrendering control. That tension between human desire for control and reliance on technology is part of the ongoing story of AI cars. Now, let's consider the broader picture. A fully AI-driven world could change energy consumption, reduce carbon emissions, and make transportation far more efficient. Urban planning, city development, and even lifestyle choices could be reshaped. But this future comes with trade-offs. Ethical dilemmas, cybersecurity threats, and societal inequality must be managed carefully. We must ensure that technology serves everyone fairly and safely, not just the privileged few. Here is the ultimate question. Are we ready to embrace a world where machines drive our cars, control traffic, and indirectly influence our daily lives? Could you personally trust an AI to make life or death decisions in the blink of an eye? Would society adapt fast enough to prevent chaos, inequality, or exploitation? The truth is, AI cars aren't just about technology. They're about how we choose to live, share, and govern our cities. The roads of tomorrow might be safer, faster, and cleaner, but they will also challenge our assumptions, test our ethics, and force us to rethink what freedom and control mean in a world increasingly run by machines. So what do you think? Would you step into a fully autonomous car and let it take the wheel, or is the human touch on the road something we can't, and shouldn't, replace? The answer might define the future of driving itself. If you found this vision of AI-driven roads fascinating, make sure to subscribe and follow along, because the future of transportation is not coming, it's already on the way.